We are in an age oversaturated with trivial information, and surprises are rare. Pony Island's store page and trailer already spill the beans that its cutesy facade hides a dark secret, and I am once again regretting my own position as a sort of spoil sport. To review something, to criticize it even if you're praising it, is still demystifying some of the surprises it can have in store for people who are none the wiser. So with that being said, I regret to inform you that Pony Island is not a game about ponies, nor is it about islands. Instead, it is only mildly, extraneously, about a game about ponies and islands. Pony Island is a $5 3-hour grown-up game jam project from a guy named Daniel Mullins. It's kinda like WarioWare done at a Ludum Dare with the theme of having the entire game on one screen. So the whole game is played on the same smudgy CRT monitor that tells this crazy supernatural story about glitching in and out of the operating system of what appears to be a cutesy retro runner about making this pony jump over vertical white lines. And probably the only real disappointing turn in this whole twist is how quickly Pony Island's own marketing is to spill the beans that something's not right there. Would it have suffered from less sales had it truly masqueraded as a Magic Crystals competitor? Maybe. But with the success of metagaming twists in Undertale, Stanley Parable, and whatever the campaign for Frog Fractions 2 was, it's hard to say otherwise. Then again, who knows how many clever facade games might still remain hidden because of their facades working. Anyways, Pony Island openly bills itself as a suspense puzzle game in disguise, and that really may be the best way to describe it in a nutshell. With a control scheme that almost exclusively uses the mouse and gameplay that's more about solving puzzles than twitching around platforms, it works in practice like an adventure point-and-click by way of Philip K. Dick. At what I think is the core are two mini-games of auto-running and sliding block puzzles, neither of which are fleshed out enough to be enjoyable on their own, to the game's own admission, nor related enough to the central theme of Pony Island to feel wholly representative of it. Though the highest percentage of your time will be spent running this pony around, you're otherwise faced with a lineup of problems to solve that are so diverse that it's hard to really nail Pony Island down to one genre. What's more remarkable are its creative destructions of UI conventions. Its best moments are when you're piecing together a crumbling options menu or filtering keywords through a chatbot who's the only friendly character in the torturous hell that Pony Island actually is. Because Pony Island, the one about jumping the pony over the fence, it's terrible. It's a POS garbage, low-effort amateur product worth nothing more than sucking away at your soul. And that's the joke. But on a whole nother level, it's hard to tell which version of the game is intended to be the torturous hell here. The Pony Island inside the game, or the one you start out through Steam, the one I'm reviewing right now. Because of all the mini-games he's packed in here, the favoritism that Daniel Mullins shows towards the Pony Island of running and jumping and shooting is regrettable, compared to the other Pony Island. The Pony Island of exploring sinister operating systems, of scoping out hidden executable icons behind pop-up boxes, or catching glimpses of the world beyond the game's one screen to piece together the sinister story behind the game of Pony Island and why your character is stuck playing so many versions of it forever. That's this game's accomplishment, is managing to tell a funny, imaginative, and slightly terrifying story almost exclusively through metagaming gags. It's unfortunate that so much time is comparatively spent inside these shallow and repetitive runner levels that just go on way too long, lasting way too late past their welcome. That may be another joke, or it may be a mistake. Either way, I think the fact that I can't tell might indicate some kind of small failure. Pony Island's reliance on Pony Island results in probably more shared frustration between player and character than what was actually intended. But of course, at the price level of $5, the question of whether or not a $5 thing is good becomes less relevant than whether or not it's interesting. This is the price point that society has collectively agreed upon that whatever the hell a Crunchwrap Slider big box should be worth. And Pony Island is definitely more interesting than that. It begins strong, but ends with a final 30 minutes of some of the most effective and inventive fourth wall breaking tricks I have yet to see. A final act easily worth the Taco Bell price of admission alone. You got about 3 hours of game here that begins strong, drags for about 30 minutes, and then climbs its way towards an ending full of neat little tricks. But I also want to end by putting more emphasis on that little Pony Island is another good example of this trend of self-aware stylings. It follows up on tricks that Stanley Parable and Undertale did before it, but it also doesn't eclipse them in scale, quality, and ultimately heart and soul either. Given its price, it would be unreasonable to expect it to, but I can't really see it leading the charge as this trend of self-aware smartass simulators continues. It's a solid footnote on this style's path to development, but it's not a grand historical moment. But I can at least say with some confidence that you're way better off buying this than you would be buying junk food instead.